And there is 72 smithing to start out this video. Kinda crazy how just those 2 smithing levels from the last video took me 25 hours. Hope you enjoyed the intro animation though. I'm trying to make this smithing grind a little bit more entertaining for you guys and be able to actually post content without gaining too many levels, because 6,000 experience an hour is pretty slow. 86 thieving coming in while stealing more nature runes from the chest. I've had 2 maze randoms today and I got coal from both and myth from one. So I've got 24 myth ore and 171 coal from 2 maze randoms, which is amazing. Get it? Maze? Okay. I've been lamping more Slayer. There is level 24. I had quite a few people in the previous episode say, why don't I just lamp smithing? For me personally, I know 6,000 experience an hour in smithing with all things considered is very slow. But every lamp, even at like 80 smithing, would only save me 7.5 minutes off my grind. So I'd personally rather get a head start in Slayer and try and unlock as many potential monsters for future rolls to actually kill for loot, or start Slayer eventually with a decent amount of stuff unlocked to be able to do as many tasks as possible without getting locked out. I just think that's better than a little bit of time saved on the smithing grind. I know it's only been minutes for you, but there is 87 thieving just from pickpocketing this chest. This chest is also 6,000 thieving experience an hour, so that level alone took me a good 50 hours. I want to chat to you guys quickly about spam. The amount of emails, calls, texts that I get spam weekly is rather crazy nowadays. Typically your information is sold to these spammers, whether it's your personal details, your browsing history, or even what you buy online. All of this gets collected and sold around to these spammers. You can have yourself removed from these data storage lists that are being sold by brokers, but it's pretty annoying and long-winded to do so. This is where today's sponsor comes in, Incogni. Incogni is a tool that does this for you, and all you gotta do is sign up to Incogni, give them permission to remove you from these lists on your behalf, and then they'll go and demand that you get removed from these lists that the data brokers are selling. I signed up for Incogni myself to test them out before including them as a sponsor for today's video, and after they deleted my info from these data brokers lists, I actually haven't had a spam call since, and all of my other forms of contact are so much more under control too. It's honestly been really great. They also continue to guard your privacy every single month and showcase it to you on your dashboard super clearly and simply. If you also want to take back your privacy and get your personal information removed from these brokers, there is a link in my description. If you click that link to Incogni, they're offering 60% off an annual plan currently for you to take advantage of, which also supports the channel in the process. I'm personally really happy, and I can sleep easier knowing that my information isn't out there for people to buy anymore thanks to Incogni. Definitely a pretty cool sponsor, so thank you so much to them, and let's get back to the chunking, shall we? With this pickpocket of the chest, I am now at 40,000 nature runes. That is about 170 hours of AFK in this chest. So it might not look like lots of progress has been made to start this video out, but there has been a ton of progress technically stocking up these nature runes. I also have a bunch of Slayer lamps in my inventory, and that gets me to 29 Slayer as well. Been getting a load of lamps recently. There is level 30 Slayer. Lovely to see. I'm not lamping agility anymore because it will unlock the Sears Village rooftop course, and I'd rather have that locked behind a chunk roll to unlock agility. I think that'll be more fun. So we're going to continue lamping Slayer. Superheating on the way back to the bank, I hit 90 magic. Oh, another skill starting with 9 is really, really cool to see. I'll be 99 by the end of this grind. Since starting this account from Maze Randoms and a tiny bit from Puro, I am now at 1108 Mithril Ore and a bunch of coal as well. I'm going to go ahead and superheat some Myth Bars. The Mithril Bars are really good XP turning them into Myth Plate Bodies. I'm definitely going to go ahead and utilize as many Maze Randoms as possible for these ores. Every time a Maze Random gives me these ores, it saves so much time off of my grind, more than even just lamping smithing wood, so I'm super chuffed with that. 73 mining, 73 smithing, just hit 75 mining. I was in my group, so I skipped the pop-up, whoops, but with 75 mining, I'm going to go ahead and just finish out some smithing, and then I want to theory craft whether I can go ahead and actually get more XP from any of the other methods I have available to me over iron. It was the most popular comment on the last video, so we're going to go into depth about it in this one. 74 smithing and 75 smithing. I'm going to stop at 75 smithing and mining now. Actually using the bars is crazy high experience an hour in smithing, and it's so satisfying as like a payoff for the grind before. So nice. Last episode I showcased the iron bar method that I've been using this far to get to 75 mining and 75 smithing. But now that my mining level is a bit higher, it's time to start testing all of the other bars and see just how they stack up compared to the iron. On paper, iron bars is still technically the shortest time to 99 smithing for me, closely followed by steel. But maybe with a little tick manipulation on coal rocks, one of the other higher tier bars like steel may just be better than iron. So let's get to testing. The first thing I wanted to do was super simple. I just wanted to mine iron and coal, make steel bars with superheat at the mine, and then bank the steel bars and keep doing that instead of doing it with iron bars only. The issue is it requires 2 coal and 1 iron to make steel bars, which is way longer than just the iron bars themselves. And it doesn't provide that much more XP, so I don't save that much time at the nature rune chest or the smithing the plate bodies, because that's fast anyway. So on paper it technically is quite a bit worse, but I wanted to put it into action and test an hour just to see if it is actually a lot slower than the iron. In my testing, obviously last episode we figured out the iron bars I was banking 641 an hour, and that was 24,000 smithing XP banked. But then when you're looking at the time it takes to do the mining portion to 99, the natures and the smithing, the total time left to 99 for me was 2,032 hours. With steel bars on the other hand, I banked 168 in the hour, and I banked a little tiny bit additional iron there as well by having the last 2 inventory slots filled up by iron. As you can see here, when going back to the bank, I have full steel in my inventory and then 2 iron. That then led to having a couple of iron bars banked as well, and that was 9,765 smithing XP. This then made the mining portion a lot longer, but shaved a decent amount off of the smithing time and a ton of time off of the natures. But even with how much time saved not needing as many natures for superheat, it was still 2,285 hours to 99. This is when I wanted to try something else, something that could speed up the steel bars. That's tick manipulation mining. The only issue I have is I don't have anything like a mahogany log, or I don't have a pestle or mortar with a herb to be able to 3-tick mine. This means I'm stuck to doing 4-tick mining. The reason why it's 4-tick mining instead of 3-tick mining without having access to the things I mentioned is because it opens up an interface, and then I have to go ahead and select an option in that interface which takes an extra tick before I then start chopping the log and I can tick manip mining with the additional action that I'm doing. Having to pop up that menu every single time I want to go ahead and chop a log instead of instantly chopping the log or instantly grinding the herb adds that extra tick on my mining. 4-tick mining is obviously still faster than just mining the ore normally though, and I managed to get around 20% more steel bars banked in this hour. So now with the 4 tick steel, I was banking around 204 steel bars an hour and a few extra iron as well. That then led to having 11,663 Smith XP banked every hour, minimizing the time that I spent mining by about 20%, but the nature rune and the smithing grind obviously stayed the same because it will be the same amount of bars in the end. This then put my total time to 99 at 2,083 hours, which is really close to the time for the iron bars. The only downside is this is a super sweaty method versus literally AFKing a nature chest for the majority of my time with the other method. So I don't really want to go ahead and spend more time doing an even sweatier method for, what, a little bit more money from maybe the steel plate bodies instead of the iron plate bodies at the end. Not really worth my time or effort in that regard. So sadly, iron is still the best method after testing these things. But then we do have mithril and addy, right? So for mithril, I sadly have no ore in my chunk that I can mine. I can only get mithril from maze randoms, and it is very nice bonus experience over time, as I mentioned earlier on in this video, but it's just not a consistent thing that I can do to get 99 with. And when it comes to addy, addy is pretty close to being similar to iron bars, kind of like how steel was. If I was to 4-tick addy, I get about 70 bars banked an hour with a couple of iron bars in there as well again. That then took my total time to 99 with addy at 2,261 hours, but that was assuming that I had enough addy ore in the bank to get 99 with. It didn't count any time for the addy ore, it was only time for the 6 coal per bar. The time spent in Pro to get enough addy ore for 99 would be way too long. But from getting 89 Hunter before, I have about 10,000 addy ore in the bank already. So for the addy ore that's already in the bank, once I'm a higher mining level and even more consistent at mining coal, I then think it will be worth doing the addy at higher mining levels, and when I can actually smith the addy plate bodies at higher smithing levels, no point in doing it now, because it will be pretty close to the iron experience an hour. But I'll get way more from the addy plate bodies than I would with the iron plate bodies, right? So I think addy plate bodies are pretty good with the 10k addy I already have banked. So in conclusion, after just spouting a bunch of numbers at you guys, this is my plan of action. I will be power mining iron while superheating 299 as the main method. I'll be using all of my maze random coal and myth for extra XP with myth bars into myth plate bodies, and I will use my 10k addy ore at higher levels, 4-tick mining the coal, and then superheating at the mine with that as well. There are upsides from doing iron all the way to 99 though. These upsides are that I'll have 99 magic, 97 thieving, and 97 mining by the end of 99 smithing. By doing the addy, I might even be able to push 98 mining, which is absolutely awesome. This will then give me super solid base stats moving into my next chunk roll, and the only skills, which would be death chunks in the future, would be stuff like runecrafting, construction, and herb lore. But I'm pretty far away from unlocking all 3 of those. So because I'll have really good stats and I've unlocked most of the skills, my next rolls after this, I'm probably not going to be stuck for 9 months like this. That makes me really excited for the future of this account, and I know it's not going to be the most entertaining content for the next few months, but then after that, it's going to be so satisfying and super cool, so I can't wait. But that then leads to the downside of this, the whole 2,000 hour grind left. It's going to take me a long time to complete, but at least it's pretty AFK, especially the nature rune part, so I can do other things alongside it, so there won't just be no content coming out on this channel, even if it's going to be a decent amount between uploads of the Chunkman specifically. I probably won't be uploading a Chunkman video for another few months now, but I'll have other videos in the pipeline, and I'll be making some other cool stuff for you guys to enjoy on this channel. And that's it. That is the goal, and now it's just time to execute it, I guess. If you are enjoying these videos, please do consider subscribing though, because they take a long time to make, and I'm actually super close to 100,000 subscribers, and just you checking if you're subscribed and clicking the button if you're not will help push me to a goal that I've wanted since I was a kid. A silver play button would be so cool at 100k, so thank you so much. And that leads me to the end of video summary. Sadly, didn't get too many levels this episode, but I still played for over 200 hours for this video. I don't think I'll be making another chunk video until I get at least 90 mining, so I can go ahead and mine the highest tier Crash Star to get that giant chunk task done, and even more progression towards 99 smithing. I've already made a few videos of the mining and smithing grind, and I think I've covered all of the bases now. So now it's just putting into action for that 2,000 hours, right? So I don't want to bore you guys with a bunch of random videos with no content. We'll wait until we get actual content to upload, which will be a few months away. But I'll be uploading other types of content during that time, so you guys will still have videos. It just won't be of this chunk account until I get something to show. Hopefully that makes sense, and I'm sorry that there will be a little bit of a lack of videos of the chunk man coming up. But do watch out on the channel because I have quite a few things planned. Thank you so much for watching. As always, you guys are legends if you've made it this far into the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it regardless. And thank you so much to the members as well. You help me do this full time and your support is super, super appreciated. Thank you. Let's roll, guys, at the highest. Why would you buy this tier? Super Cow, Dark World Order, Yellow Raven, and me book at the Godly tier, and everyone else at the big supporter and regular supporter tiers that you can see on screen. And as always, until next time, see ya.